Towards in game, comic book collector investor. Welcome to the top 10 highest CGC comic book sold on eBay, and I also attended the grand opening of local comic book store. So stay tuned to the end, and I'll show you that video there. So coming number 10, we have Amazing Spider-Man issue 31, grade CZ 9.4, high grade silver H book. So for $6,700 pretty much. So let's go over to Heritage. Over Heritage, we have a 9.4 right here. And then this book sold was high 10,500, so that's a drop of $3,800. This is back in November 2022. And then we'll do one right here. We have one sold for 10,200. It's back in September 2021. Coming number 9, we have Invincible issue 1. This one came out 2003. Grade CZ 9.8. White pages, first appearance. Produced by Robert Kurtman. This book is hot though. It's in like so for some down 500 right here. And then let's check what some of the other sold prices on eBay. This is 9.0, so this is not the count right here. We have 9.8, the best offer except of some down $1. And then 9.8, 6,500 back in April. And then 6,500 best offer in April. And then some down $500 best offer. So yeah, this book is doing well. So you have this book. The question is, I mean, the story have ended though, but I'm not quite sure how the cartoon on Amazon Prime is. So coming number 8, we have Action Comic issue 242, grade CZ 6.0, off-white the white pages, first appearance of Brainiac and Kendall. Produced by DC Comics. Asking and sold price was $7,999. So let's go over to Go Collect. Go Collect right here, 6.0 right here. And then this book sold as high as $10,995. So that's a drop of $2,996. And the high, this was the one that was just sold on eBay. And then low 2025. Go Collect. Fair market value should be 3,700. Yeah, I hate to say this. I mean the buy or pay, but hey, if you really want that book in your collection, you gotta pay top dollar there. So let's go over here. This was the one that was just sold on eBay, and then the highest was back in April of 2020. Coming number 7, Green Lantern issue 87, grade season 9.8, Mint Hunter Comics copy. First appearance was John Stewart. The asking and sold price, I believe, is $8,500 there. So let's go over to Heritage. Oh, Heritage is 9.8 right here. And then this one sold as high 10,800. So that's a drop of 2,300. This is back in January 2025. And then we have one that was sold for 10,500 back in January 2023. And then let's do one more here. One sold for 9,500 back in June of 2025. Coming number 6, Amazing Fantasy 15. The spy or the set did not even put down the issue number right here. Should put down 15 right here to get more attention there. This one had asking and sold price $9,000. However, only 60% positive and only feedback there. So let's take a look at this book. All right, so I mean, you don't see too many raw Amazing Fantasy book out there in the market nowadays. Definitely look. Here's the inside cover. Inside pages. Definitely got some tan in there. Unfortunately, asking $9,000 and only just 4 pictures though. Well, it does seem legit though. I mean, I tell by this right here, obviously the print is not as good as nowadays, but this is definitely seems like a real copy there. Let me know what you think though. You want to spend $9,000 on an ungraded book? Coming number 5, Mad Issue 1, Grade C 9.2, Off-White White Pages, for Satire Comics, and this one came out in 1952. The asking price was $13,210, but it's actually sold for $12,000. So let's go over to Go Collect. Okay, Go Collect with a 9.2 right here. This is the highest ever sold. So $12,000 there. And then let's go over this chart right here. This is the one that was just sold on eBay. And then there's one for $9,701. And before that, the high was $10,800. So that's an increase of $1,200. And this is back in July of 2020 there. Coming number 4, Incredible Hulk Issue 1, Grade CZ 3.0, Universal Blue Label, on Restore, first appearance of the Hulk, asking the sold price $14,000. So let's go over to Heritage. Heritage 3.0 right here. And then this book sold as high as $26,400. So that's a decrease of $12,400. This is back in October 2021. And then let's do one right here. One sold for $25,800 back in August of 2022. And then let's do one more. One sold for $24,722.40 back in July 2020. Coming number 3, Incredible Hulk Issue 181, Grade CC 9.6, first appearance of Wolverine, white pages, perfect wrap. The asking and sold price was $15,200. So let's go over to GPA. Okay, GPA right here. And then let's go across right here. This is the one that was just sold on eBay, $15,200. 9-day average, 12-month average, 2025 average, and then 2024 average right here. So pretty much close to these numbers right here, but definitely still a drop from the 2024 average right here. So let's go down here, and this book sold as high as $36,000. So that's a drop of $20,800. And over here, 7 was reported. High being $15,200. That's the one that was sold on eBay. Low $13,000. And then $36,000 was back in 2022 right here. Coming number 2, Marvel Fantastic Four Issue 1, Grade CZ 5.0. This one came out in 1961. Lee and Kirby. The asking price was $17,750. Sold for a little less than that. Fortunately, I couldn't find what it was sold for. But anyway, let's go over to Heritage. Over Heritage, we have a 5.0 right here. And then this book sold as high as $57,600 back in June of 2022. And then let's do one right here. One sold for $50,400 back in April 2022. And then we'll hit one sold for $42,000 back in November 2023. So some massive drop off though in prices there. Coming number 1, Amazing Fantasy 15, produced by Marvel Comics. This one came out in September of 1962. This rated CG at 2.5 right here. And then the final auction price was $19,500 with 21 bids there. So let's go over to Heritage. Okay, we have a 2.5 right here. And then this book sold as high at $38,400. So that's a decrease of $18,900. This is back in November 2021. And then we have one sold for there's some down 200 back in November 2021. And then we have one sold for there's some down 200 also back in July 2022. All right, don't hang up yet though. Okay, I'm gonna show you a video of my I'm going to the local comic book store at the grand opening. Okay, we're heading into this grand opening. Infinite Comics and Calls, right here at Campus Hill Shopping Center. And it just opened a couple minutes ago. We'll see what they have on here.
You don't accept tip. Can I please give you tip?
Oh wow, look at the crowd right here.
We start the pump and dump right now that they're doing on the first.
Okay, these are the books I picked up yesterday at the grand opening of the comic book store. It's the comic store, it's Infinite Comics and Calls. So I picked up Amazing Spider-Man. These are 50-cent book though, so I don't have this in my collection. And then more Amazing Spider-Man, issue 25. Obviously, these are not the one that came out in 1960s. These are came out, I think they're like 5 and 3 or something like that. It's an Immortal variant. I don't have these in my collection, so for 50 cents, not too bad. I did pick up Uncanny X-Men. I don't have this issue either. 335. This is 337 right here. And then Amazing Spider-Man 850. I mean, this is retail price $10. Oh yeah, that's for 50 cents. Not bad. And issue 52. And then we have the issue 52 LR-ish copy. Okay, and then those are all 50 cents, so 10 copies for like 55 bucks, not bad. And then they do have the $1 bin, and so let's see what I got here. And also some more Amazing Spider-Man, 652, and then the 661. So for $1 piece, not bad. I mean, because it's a lot better than paying like $3, $5. I know I probably never complete my runs of Amazing Spider-Man though, but don't want to spend too much money. But $1, not bad at all there. And then his issue 666, and then we have 674 down here. Why do they have an issue number on the bottom, then something like all the way on top right here? 677, and then 678, and then you have 680 right here, 681, 686, 693, 697. And these are like $1. And I also have like Kenny X-Men 219. Obviously, it's not what he meant, but hey, $1 not too bad. And then 226. And there was some auto issue later on, but I just want to get some earlier one, 226. And then they do have, yeah, this for $1 too. This is, I believe it's maybe the second appearance of the Mandalorian, or the Boba Fett maybe, I guess. So for all this, it's like 20. So these were $5 total, and this is 19, and so I paid like $26.16 for this whole collection, which is not bad. Comment below and let me know if I got a good deal or not. Enjoy the content. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next week.